in the year of 1964. I was young, but I clearly remember the exciting presentation in Flushing Meadows Park in the borough of Queens in New York of the World's Fair, with the amazing pavilions of many countries on view for all to see. What each country produces, along with the unique cultural contributions to humanity, like the latest technological advancements of each nation, along with its futuristic developments at this point in time. You have to remember, we had no cell phone or color TV during those years. Not even beepers existed for those who even go back that far. We were beginning to see the first and second James Bond movies with his interesting gadgets. The Beatles beginning their careers, Elvis Presley fading. Technicolor movies were at their apex. So the World's Fair was sort of a futuristic venue. It took them approximately a year to remodel the park and turn it into a sort of a village. I remember specifically visiting the Bell System Pavilion, the forefather of today's Verizon. And upon leaving, they gave you a poster featuring the phones that were used in the past, to the present ones, and the ones in the future. Which was quite interesting at that time. They said, remember now, this is going back, over 50 years, okay? And they said at the time that we would be talking on the phone, listen to this, and be able to see the person you would be talking to. Well, that was an incredible thing to say. And an intriguing possibility at the same time. Can you imagine being able to see who you were talking to? You had no idea how that seemed impossible then. The first glimpse of that truly happening was when I watched Star Trek. I saw Spock, with a flip phone. We were not aware of the wireless future awaiting for us down the road. So to witness that realization in my lifetime is very powerful. And so the following year, the World's Fair continued, right? That's 1965. And it ended that year. And, I thought, that was very interesting, It ended, and so they removed all the temporary structures and put up structures that put up, the House of the Pavilions. That experience piqued my curiosity, and I was intrigued by the concept of the World's Fair. So one day, I began to research past fair events. And I was very intrigued, by the whole concept of the World's Fair. So I was struck by the St. Louis Fair of 1904 and the Chicago World's Fair of 1893. What was incredible to me was the length and breadth of the structures put up at the pavilions. Unimaginable statues, sizes of buildings, fountains, immense amount of money and manpower to build the setting, to be only used for approximately 6 months and to be torn down after. That seemed very odd to me. Why would you go to that extent when other much needed structures could have been realized, like homes and schools and hospitals? In my opinion, what misuse of fund for merely 6 months of exhibition? It did not make sense to me. Now, who could possibly give me a reasonable explanation for this absurdity? How can this be possible? And where would you place so much debris after the demolition? Seems very odd. Another peculiar observation is the lack of photographs of the actual construction of these sites. And who authorized such a misuse of funds and manpower? In addition to that puzzle, the great genius inventor Tesla, Nikola Tesla, was able to wireless illuminate the Chicago World's Fair of 1893 single-handedly, which in itself was amazing. And I believe he was using ancient Egyptian technology, basing its energy in aquifers, reversing their polarity, tapping in for the main source of energy. Tesla's scientific knowledge is the source of today's cellular industry. Those who aren't familiar. Unfortunately, many of his inventions were destroyed in a very suspicious fire. Some rumors have circled around that there was malice and his subsequent death orchestrated. Well, the fantastic structures built for those two fairs seem to me as though predecessors in American history that maybe could have been erased. It's very interesting structures around that seem to have been here. So my curiosity peaked and I wondered whether someone before were the true builders. It would be a jigsaw puzzle gathering the factual, physical evidence to prove my beliefs. But my spiritual evidence is intact. There are many disparities in the story told about these affairs to satisfy my curiosity, as well as a myriad of others structures that show me the improbability of their construction within the past 100 years. Why would you go to the extent of building these incredible structures? They cannot just be fronts, because Chicago, from what I remember, they call it the Windy City. The Windy City obviously means that there's a lot of wind. That's the way I take it. So you're not going to build flimsy structures. They're going to be sturdy structures. Now, why would they be so large? So that is something very interesting to me. And I'm not an expert in geological or, researching grounds and studying archaeology. But I find it quite interesting that these structures seem to have been built to withstand time. But again, I'm not an archaeologist who could actually do the testing. And so these are an incredible and fantastic looking scenery that we're looking at. It seems very real to me. It doesn't look Hollywood kind of thing, with the backdrop and these things look very real and very firmly constructed. So these have to be more researched in order to understand the reality of the mystery of the World's Fair. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. And as I stated, it seems as though someone else might have built it. Like I say, my spiritual evidence is intact, but all I need is the physical evidence to prove my belief. Abundant blessings and peace to all.